Do you guys struggle with your makeup getting cakey, patchy, and it's just not cute? Well, don't worry, because we've all been there. I've been there, and I'm going to share with you guys my tips on how I prevent my makeup from getting cakey. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you guys want to see more videos like this. Alright, let's get right into the video. The first step that we're going to cover is skin prep. Skin prep is super important when it comes to preventing creasing and your makeup getting very cakey. I'm starting off with a milky toner. Now, this is super hydrating. You can use a serum, you can use a milky toner, whatever you have at home, and I'm just applying this all over my face, and this is gonna help keep that hydration. If you decide to skip skin prep, what can happen is if you have like dry patches on your face, the foundation or concealer can cling on to those areas, making it way more cakey, or it could crease a lot more throughout the day. So I'm gonna go into the Laneige water cream. I personally love this cream because it has a gel-like consistency, but it is a very moisturizing moisturizer. Again, with skin prep, you're focusing on giving your skin moisture and that hydration back, but I would not go in with more than 2-3 products, because the more skincare you start building up before makeup, the higher chance your makeup can pill or it doesn't sit right on top of all that skincare. So keeping skin prep minimal as you can is best. Yeah, the worst thing you want to do is start applying your foundation and concealer and start seeing pilling, which is like kind of looks like dead skin cells like pilled up or balled up. All right, now that we have skin prepped, next we can move on to primer. I'm gonna go in with a Milk Hydro Grip primer. Now this is a really nice gripping primer. It's gonna make sure that your makeup sticks, well, grips onto this and it doesn't move around. Now you can go in with also a pore filling primer. If you have very oily skin, I would just go in with a pore filling primer in my T-zone. So right over here, down the bridge of my nose, right over here where the pores are, and even like over here, because that's where we tend to get the most oily. If you're gonna go in with a gripping primer, you can kind of put it all over, because the point of a gripping primer is to make sure it grips your makeup, which you're going to be applying everywhere. Let's move on to foundation. This is where you want to pay close attention, because these next steps are going to be crucial when it comes to preventing creasing and caking with your makeup. When choosing a foundation, you want to make sure you're going in with something that has a thin formula. The number one reason to why your foundation might be caking up is because it is too thick. It is just too much product on your skin, and that is a very real thing. Now, I personally have more dry skin, so I'm going in with a formula that is thin but is very luminous. This is the Revolution Beauty Skin Silk Foundation. Another great one is the Patrick Ta foundation as well, and I'm actually going into a dense brush like this and using it to blend it out. And if you notice, I put it on the back of my hand, dipped it in, made sure it is evenly coated, and then I went in and I am applying the foundation. This is very important. Don't apply the foundation directly to your face. That's just something influencers do because it's like trendy, it's viral, it's like great for video. But if you're actually trying to create a thin, even layer, apply it on the back of your hand. Now, this is not to shame influencers. I do it all the time in my videos, but I'm just trying to teach you actual tips in this video, and trust me, back of the hand. Again, I love this formula because it's just very thin and it feels like I'm not wearing anything. As I'm applying this foundation, make sure you're not going too into your eye zone right here, because again, you want to make sure you are building layers, but also thin layers. You don't really need to apply any sort of product over here because we're going to be going in with a concealer. And so you don't really need product over there. Adding foundation all the way up to here is just adding more product that you're going to have to either blend out or work with. And the less product that we work with, the less chance of it getting cakey. Next, we're gonna go into concealing. Now, this is a very important step, so pay attention. When choosing a concealer, you wanna make sure you are choosing a formula that is, again, not too thick, but also a formula that doesn't crease for you. Now, you can trial or error it, or let me just tell you some of my favorites: the new Morphe concealer, the House Labs concealer, Natasha Denona concealer. Those are great concealers that barely crease for me. There is no such thing as no creasing, especially as we age. Like, that's impossible, like literally impossible. There are concealers that, you know, don't accentuate it or have very minimal creasing, and that's what we want to work with. Concealers are naturally a thick formula no matter how thin it is. Now the reason why a lot of us apply a lot of concealer is obviously we want to not look like we haven't slept, but also a lot of us have dark circles. I don't have the darkest dark circles, but a lot of people put a lot of product on to cover the darkness, which you don't really need to use a concealer for that. You can go in with a color corrector, and that allows you to kind of hide or neutralize, sorry, the color, and then you can go in with your actual concealer for the rest of it. This actually prevents less creasing, even though you would think, oh, 2 products is gonna cause more creasing, because essentially you will be using less concealer because of the corrector. So I'm gonna use this Morphe corrector. Now this one is not to correct, again, because I don't have the darkest circles, so I'm actually gonna use it to brighten my under eye. So we're gonna go in. The reason this works is because correctors actually have a way thinner formula than most concealers. So you're going in with something that is super thin, it evens out your under eyes, and then you just need a little bit of concealer to finish off the rest. Now, just a dot of that. The Morphe correctors are very pigmented, so you don't really need a lot. And then again, going in with the House Labs concealer, and I'm just gonna apply the concealer right there. And now I'm gonna take this House Labs brush to blend out this corrector concealer concoction I have. Immediately you can see how bright my under eye looks as I'm blending this out, and this is just going to prevent, again, this combination is going to prevent creasing and caking up of product because you're using very, very thin formulas. Caking occurs when you're using products that are too thick or they don't like mesh well with your foundation, which is why you don't want to bring the foundation too close to your eye. You want to leave it so that the concealer does most of the job under the eye. That is what the concealer is there for. Now, immediately after you blend it out, you want to go back in with your foundation brush and just bridge the edges between the concealer and foundation so it looks seamless and it doesn't look like, you know, there's just like lines or streaks of anything. This just makes sure that everything looks very even, blended, and continuous. Now next is powder. Setting powders is what's gonna really make or break your makeup. Like, this is really important. You wanna make sure you are choosing a setting powder that is blurring, mattifying. You don't want anything that isn't mattifying because then you are going to accentuate texture, and over time accentuated texture plus with natural creasing, that's gonna look like a mess. So make sure the first step is to find a powder that is mattifying and blurring. I love the Makeup by Mario one because it is talc free. Huda Beauty one is also really nice. I also like this powder because it's very finely milled, so I find that, you know, it's thin, it does what it needs to do with the puff, and it doesn't get like cakey for me or anything like that. Sometimes when a powder is not done right, it will lead to, again, that creasing, caking, which we don't want. Again, I just like to tap in and then go and tap off the excess on the back of my hand. This is important. You don't want to go in with a blob of uneven powder. You want to make sure everything is even on the powder puff. Another tip is as soon as you are done blending out your concealer, the second you are done blending out your concealer, go in with your powder. You don't want that to sit and form creases. You want to go get in there as soon as you can. For some reason you're doing something else and you lost track of time, don't worry. Take your concealer brush again and even anything out. So in case there was any creases or anything that formed, you're blending it all out. Have your powder, tap it off, and immediately go in. Like, when I say immediately, I mean immediately. This really sets your makeup before any sort of creasing happens, and that's gonna help a lot. You see how my under eyes look? Perfection. Now you're gonna go in with that powder. You can like go in on your nose, on your smile line, and on the forehead as well. Again, going in and buffing it out on the back of your hand is really what's gonna help it from preventing it from caking, because you're going in with thin, even layers, and that's a mistake a lot of people make when it comes to powder. Now that we have powdered our face, this next step, crucial to prevent cakey makeup. Once you're done setting the powder, you want to make sure you're bringing that hydration back, or else your makeup is just gonna look super flat and you don't want that. So I love using the Milk Hydro Grip. You can use any sort of fixing spray, or some setting sprays are actually really good as fixing sprays, such as this one. And what this is gonna do is it's just gonna bring life back into my makeup, and it's gonna bring almost like that hydrated look back into my makeup, which is what prevents the cakiness. Like if I leave it like this and I go out, it's just gonna look drier and drier as the hours go. But something like this is just so key, especially if you can grab like a travel size and carry it along with you throughout the day. You can spray it and it just revitalizes your makeup. Here's the before, very matte. Now this is a look, but you don't want it to get cakey, so. And you can see instantly, you see all that hydration back. It does not look cakey at all. If your makeup ever looks cakey for whatever reason, a good setting spray or fixing spray will literally bring life back, and it will take away a lot of that patchiness or cakiness. A lot of people say carry a powder with you if you have a big event and you need touch-ups. I always say carry a good setting spray in your bag, because that will literally give life back to your makeup. Yeah. Look at that. All right, this is how the makeup turned out. Those were my tips on how to prevent your makeup from getting cakey. If you guys love this video and want more videos on makeup tips, then make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.